doing that. So this combination of temperature and pressure actually makes them perfect little pockets for any carbon circulating fluid melt through the mantle to when it arrives in these lower portions of the crust to crystallize as diamond. So you've got these exclusive little pockets of rock in the mantle, which are like little diamond safe houses, almost. And when I'm talking exclusive, I mean exclusive. We're talking about 0.5% of the volume of the planet beneath these ancient beneath these ancient cratons where these diamonds are forming. I kind of like to think of it as little treasure chests buried around the planet for us to find. But what's really exciting, again, potentially more to me than you guys, but work with me, is that our Earth is a very turbulent place, right? We're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, I think it's quoted as. And not only that, the mantle is in continual state of convection, and then so we've got the Earth beneath our feet doing this and doing this, and then the crust is actually divided into tectonic plates, and these plates are pulling apart and pushing together, creating volcanoes and earthquakes, but they're also subducting one beneath the other. So you've got this thin oceanic crust, sinking beneath the thick continental crust, pretty much all the time, pulling our continental clumps closer and closer together. Now, billions of years ago, when diamonds started forming, this was happening, but probably more regular occurrence. So there were slabs of ancient oceanic crust that were sinking down into the mantle. And in that oceanic crust, you had organic matter, the old dead fish, and a few shells here and there, maybe a dead whale if we were lucky. That organic matter, and also that carbonate minerals such as the limestone seabed. And that would pull its way into the mantle. Some of it might get a little stuck on these little keels or pockets there. But recent research suggests is that some of that slab carried on down to depths of around 700 kilometres deep within the Earth, carrying all that carbon-rich material down to these depths. And then it would release the carbon, and hey presto, you've got another diamond-forming factory in the very depths of our Earth. The research also suggests that that correlates with some of the purest and largest diamonds we have access to. So, if anyone's heard of the Cullinan diamond, the largest diamond ever found, that's now graces the crown jewels, 3,106 carats, that came from the belly of the Earth. This pictured as the Millennium Star, which started off as a 777 carat from the Congo. That came from the belly of the Earth as well. Also, pièce de résistance, in that oceanic crust, that ancient seawater saturated slab, there was the element boron. Now, boron, if you add it to a growing diamond, just a little sprinkle, less than 10 parts per million, you get a blue diamond. Those rare, beautiful blue diamonds. And they also, according to recent research, also were formed in the belly of the Earth too. So you could always say that it was ancient seawater that turned those stones blue. And they really do make up such a small portion as well. Just understanding the rarity of that is really quite extraordinary. We're talking about 0.004% of population of blue diamonds. So this is all very well. We have these beautiful little pockets of diamond-forming rock in the mantle, and we also have this bucket of diamonds, this exclusive region of diamond forming deep within the mantle. So how have we got diamonds? We can only manage to get down about 12 kilometres if we're lucky. This is where a series of very, very powerful, deep-rooted volcanic eruptions occurred, predominantly when the dinosaurs were wandering the planet around 250 to 20 million years ago. And these deep-rooted volcanoes, well, they soared their way through this diamond-forming region, exploding through the crust like a champagne cork out of a bottle. I'm not previewing what I'm going to be doing later. And then exploding that debris up to the sky and then descending and consolidating as the volcanic rock kimberlite, containing those diamonds that had been dragged up with it in the event. But here's the thing. There are 7,000 known kimberlite pipes, dotted around the planet. Of those 7,000, only 15% managed to be diamond bearing, managed to pick up a few diamonds on the way. And of that, less than 100 of those pipes are economically viable to mine. So you could say that trying to find diamond-bearing kimberlite is a little like finding a pinhole in an orange. We're working with a very finite resource. But the journey doesn't end there. Although the majority of kimberlite pipe that give us the diamonds that we covet, around 70% by value, a lot of that material wandered off in different directions, got caught up in glaciers during the Ice Age, or found themselves rolling down rivers and streams, or even out into the open sea, such as in the case of the Namibian deposit. But this is over the course of millions, if not billions of years. Now, trying to get our head around geological time is a little bit of a brain break for us poor humans who only manage about 80 years if we're lucky. God forbid. So, I like the analogy of the 24-hour clock. So, Earth formed at 12. Around between 3 and 4, we have our oldest diamonds ever dated so far. They could well have formed beforehand, but the oldest we've dated so far was from the Panda deposit in the Ikati mine in Canada. And then we have a few more diamonds have been produced. Mantle's working away hard, but modern man doesn't manage to get to the party until the clock strikes 12. These diamonds had one weight on their hands in order for us to find them. Now, think of it like the course of one life. Think of how many events occur in one lifetime that could completely change its course. Hey, the events in 1 month or in 1 day even. Now transpose that onto millions and billions of years, and you can really understand just how resilient these stones are. We have that. We have access to them genuinely against all odds. We should be honoured. Thanks, Mother Nature. That was a seriously good show. So, what a story. What a journey. But how do you put a value on that? See, this is where we come into the 4 C's. Now, whoever has dealt with a diamond, sold a diamond, bought a diamond, will probably know how to list them, or at least know something about them. Who wants to tell me what the 4 C's are?
You guys should all know this.
Shall I pick on people?
Yes.
All right. First one. Cut. Lovely.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Please pay attention.
So we said clarity.
Clarity, lovely. So that leaves one more.
most important one. Carrot.
Ooh, the most important one. These 4 C's was a mnemonic actually developed by the GIA as a way of helping students understand the quality of the diamond. But it's now become a universally accepted standard by which to objectively, or as objectively as possible, assess a polished diamond, effectively to put a price tag on it. But what really does underpin the value of the diamond? Rarity. It's rarity that drives the value of the stone. And this is what I want to work on now when we're talking about the 4 C's. I want to give you an indication, because one exciting part of the 4 C's, which you probably don't think about, is that it does actually recount the story of the stone. So before I bang on, does anyone have any questions at this point, or shall we just keep on rolling? Yeah.
How do you actually find these mines?
How do you find
That's part 2, actually.
Actually, I do have a part 2, which is how do you find a diamond. So bear with me. We will work on that one.
So you said there's...
There are many ways, but it's state-of-the-art technology, geophysical surveying, using geological data. So indicator minerals are a key driver in order to find a diamond. So we're literally following minerals that form in the same rock as the diamond, like Hansel and Gretel following crumbs to the witch's house, or back home. I don't know which way. Which way were they following the crumbs? I can't remember now. Does anyone else know? So you get things like garnet and ilmenite and chrome dioxide, and these are called indicator minerals, and we will use those as ways of, because they're more prevalent than diamond, to literally follow their path to the original deposit. That's one way of doing it, but now it's becoming an awful lot more advanced. And as I say, I am actually building another presentation based on that, so post it.
Are new diamonds forming?
I should imagine so, but the problem is we don't have many kimberlites, and the last kimberlite eruption was, 12,500 years ago? 12,000 in Tanzania. So I really quite like there not to be another one anytime soon, because they're really quite destructive, and we probably wouldn't survive a kimberlite eruption. Not very well, especially if it was in the middle of London. So, yes, is the answer. The answer is yes. And they may well have been forming from even earlier than the oldest one noted. They can form throughout geological time, but it's just how you access them. That's the key.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
When did we as humans become interested in diamonds, and how did we start mining them?
The earliest reference we have to diamond trading is an Indian, a Sanskrit text that dates to, I think, 2nd, 3rd BC, called the Arthashastra. But I feel that I might be completely and utterly brutalising that, the pronunciation of that. But that references the qualities of the diamond. I think it refers to the yellower stones as bile-coloured, which is a real seller. You don't want canary, you want bile. Yeah, no, it doesn't win. But yes, so we've been interested for, as I say, over 2,000 years, we've been interested in them as gemstones, and trading them as such as well.
So all of the, I suppose the ancient time basically came from India, from the one that was Golconda.
The Golconda region. So the Golconda Kingdom was the celebrated original deposit of the that was used up pretty much by the time we got our second deposit, which was over in Brazil in the 18th century. So India really was a key player for many years, and that's how we got access to them from the west when the Silk Road was operating across Europe.
And modern mining really kicks in when Spears found its first open re-establishment in 1988, and that's when kind of commercial mining started. So that's when Spears Group is still the oldest, we were the first diamond mining company, and we still remain the world's largest today. So that's when the kind of modern day mining activities began.
away and the diamonds washed away. So most, all of the ancient deposits were all secondary deposits, immediate deposits, where the diamonds had come out. The Kimberley's mine was the big hole. That was the first mine that people actually then dug down into the
We found, first primary deposit, and we finally realised that diamonds actually formed very deep within the earth beforehand. They were just merrily happy floating down rivers in India. With just what there were miracles of nature. All of these guys.
Come around in India now and find out.
Takes the fun out.
We still see that in Namibia, in fairness. We still find our secondary deposits in Namibia. It's not as easy as walking down the beach and finding them, but it's only a few steps beyond that, and that's our mining operations we have in Namibia.
It did used to be.
I have a question from a viewer who's watching virtually, Janie. She's asking, what determines the colour of a diamond?
Ah, coming to that one.
Oh, okay.
Tell her to hold her breath. We will get there. Actually, don't hold her breath. That would be really silly.
Okay, so that's for Janie, so I will let her know. Thank you.
All right, shall we move on? Because we want to start playing with diamonds, I should imagine. So, carat. Carat is a unit of weight used to unit measurement used to measure. A unit of measurement used to determine the weight of a diamond, not its size, its weight. You can have a diamond that, by all appearances, may look very, very large from the top, may have a nice large spread, but it might have quite a shallow bottom, so it's really not carrying the weight, but it may appear large. Likewise, you may have a very small table, but all its weight is in its bottom. So really, we're looking at the weight of the overall weight of a diamond. A carat equals 0.2 grams. Now it's been pulled into the metric system, but the origin of the word actually comes from the Greek word karation, which means little horn. Little horn. Of course. Please tell me that's right. Because there is a tree that grows in the Middle East, known as the locust or the carob tree, and on said tree there are these fruit, and they bear seed pods that look like, you guessed it, little horns. Now within these seed pods there are seeds, carob seeds, that have a relatively uniform weight of 0.2 grams. And they were used to trade the diamonds back along the Silk Road. I'm smiling because I know full well that when we get to Alan's part of the session, he is going to try and disprove that with a little anecdote. But for the sake of the textbooks, that's what's stated. Now, when it comes to, every carat is further divided into 100 points. Because in the world of diamond value, points win prizes, every point counts. So you'll hear things like 1.26 or 93 points a diamond. And when a diamond cuts a diamond, they will try and work to these critical weight boundaries. So under a carat, we're looking at 25 points, 50 points, 75 points, and the all-important 1 carat. Because at these boundaries or magic sizes, the price jumps. Particularly when we get to the carat, because it flies up about 35%. Why? Well, we rather like a round number, really. It's as simple as that. But what really drives the value of the diamond? Why does the value rise so exponentially as the stone gets bigger? Now that, again, is down to rarity. It reverts back to that incredible story of the stone. So think about it. The fact that diamond forms in the first place is a genuine moment of serendipity. Carbon has to be present, pressure has to be just so, temperature has to be just so. So all of these things need to align, plus a million other factors. So the fact that diamonds are forming in the first place, remarkable. Secondly, diamond grows in phases. So diamond can grow in the mantle and then sit there for a day, a month, a million years, and then there'll be another surge of carbon-bearing fluid or melt, that will pass through the rock that the diamond is sitting there in, and that fluid or melt will do one of two things. It will either grow the diamond, so there will be another layer of growth on the diamond, or it will dissolve it a little. So this poor diamond can grow and then take a few steps back.
And would you say there was a layer as you talked about it growing on, would you be able to see that it's had a layer at some point out of it, or would it just
Not by the naked
infuse?
eye, but if you were to use a technology such as the deep fluorescence technology we use in diamond view, very much so. You can see, literally looks like growth rings, and there's one diamond, there was a diamond that studied from the Iraq mine that actually grew over the period of 1 billion years. They dated the heart of it.
It's like a tree stump thing. Almost.
Yeah, I mean not circular,
Yeah.
but they
You can date it.
you can date it using inclusions, but that's another topic, and I can wax lyrical about that at another point. I'll back away now. So, thirdly, we're a turbulent planet, right? Very turbulent. So you can have this population of diamonds growing deep within the mantle, forming, sitting there, but then you can get these major events where the tectonic plates break away continents, and the diamonds actually go one side of the planet to the other. There's when South America and Africa were joined, there was a pocket of diamonds there, and around 180 million years ago, they split away from each other, an ocean formed in between. It was probably a fair loss of diamonds in this particular event, but now that same population of diamonds exists both in South America and in Africa, which is kind of cool. Thirdly, the diamond has to have been lucky enough to have been in the right place at the right time for that kimberlite eruption to pass through the rock and carry it to the surface. 1 kilometre that way or 1 kilometre that way, and it might have missed. But if it doesn't do it in one go, that could be a problem, because you get a failed kimberlite, so i.e. the volcano goes up, doesn't quite make it through, it'll drop back down as a failed kimberlite, it pulses back down, but it damages the rock in which the diamonds are formed, therefore dissolving the diamonds, or just softening the diamonds a little bit more. So again, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Finally, that magma that took it to the surface, that kimberlite magma, does not get on with the diamond. It contains very high levels of volatile elements such as your CO2, your carbon dioxide, and your water. And that starts when the pressure you lose the pressure in these eruptions. This magma starts to pick off the carbon atoms from the surface of the diamond in the softer areas, slowly depleting the size of the diamond. And it's going to work. And, yes. As you can see in this, and which you will get to play with later, that you can lose from this beautiful octahedron, which is its original primary form, down to this beautiful football round dodecahedron. You've lost half of the diamond just in that resorption process that occurred during its ascent to the surface. So you can see that for a diamond to form large enough to be gem quality really was a feat of nature. Colour. We're now moving on to colour. So we value colour, in 2 ways. One, how colourless it is, and we assess that on the D to Z scale, which you may have heard of. So with D being most colourless, and then an increase in saturation and tone to the Z. I've suddenly become American. To the Z.
It's not that bad.
With the D being the most valuable. The second way is if it increases sufficiently in saturation for that colour, that hue, to be visible face up, and then it moves into the fancy colour, the fancy colour diamond. And that's not just within the yellow, browns and greys, that's within all the other colours in which diamond can manifest. So you've got these two ends of the spectrum, really. You have your colourless diamond, in terms of value, you have your colourless diamond, or you have your fancy coloured. It's going to dip in value between. But why? Again, it's down to rarity. Because diamond is inherently colourless. That means when those carbon atoms get together, they have absolutely no interest in absorbing any of the visible light, which actually constitutes all the spectral colours. So we don't see anything. The light just passes on through, and we end up with a clean, white stone. But as one of my favourite gemologists so often quoted as saying, Mother Nature cooks in a dirty kitchen. So there's a lot going on down there. So when a diamond is forming, it's very rare for some other little impurity element not to sneak its way into the mix, into the growing diamond, or a little tweak or a twist on an atomic scale to occur. All of these add colour to the diamond. So again, to get a colourless stone is a rare event. But then you have the fancies.
Hello.
And this is where it gets more fun. And I know this is one of Alan's favourite topics as well. So when we get to his section, I'm sure he'll be adding a few little tidbits that I have not managed to cover. So yellow. What forms yellow in diamond? And that is nitrogen. The element nitrogen. Now nitrogen is a very ubiquitous little element. It really quite enjoys getting in everywhere. It gets itself into the mix wherever it can. Now, with diamond, it's a particular fan because the nitrogen atom and the carbon atom are pretty much the same size, so they slot into place really quite nicely. But again, with nitrogen, the story of nitrogen and diamond tells part of its story too. Because when the diamond first forms, when nitrogen gets involved, a little like the new kids being dropped off at school, they arrive and they're in the playground and they're on their own, no mates. But standing solitary within the diamond lattice, within the crystal lattice, they actually act as very, very strong colour centres, absorbing an awful lot of the blue and violet, which results in a very residual, bright yellow stone, what we would know as the canary-coloured diamond. And that's actually a younger generation of diamond. So when nitrogen's sitting alone, Johnny's alone in the playground, you have this younger generation of stone. But this particular type of diamond, with these single nitrogen within the lattice, that's very, very rare. Because that diamond would have had to move to a cooler region of the mantle very, very quickly in order for the nitrogen not to aggregate, because over the course of millions, if not billions of years, that nitrogen finds friends, buddies up. So you get nitrogen sitting in pairs, or nitrogen in threes with a vacancy, with a space there. Or you get two pairs of nitrogen and a vacancy in the centre. So this form of aggregation of nitrogen occurs over the course of millions of years and actually softens the colour of the stone, unless there's a very high concentration of nitrogen, and then you do get a fancy colour. But those diamonds that possess these aggregated nitrogen content, they form the 98% of all diamonds that we have access to and sit within that D to Z range. So that very, very, very small percent, less than 1% of young generation diamonds, those canary-coloured diamonds, very rare indeed. No, the form as part of the growing process within the yes,
So you could
very
have
much.
nitrogen as later date.
No, the nitrogen. So if you think of the carbon-bearing fluid, within that carbon-bearing fluid there would be likely nitrogen as well. So as the diamond was forming, nitrogen would just kind of slip into place. Wiggle its way into the mix. Pink, definitely one of my favourite. Not because I'm a pink person. I'm not a pink person, but I really do love pink. The mechanisms that cause the colour. What did you say?
Money.
Yeah, money. Yeah. The reason you get pink in diamonds, well, predominantly in natural diamond, is because of what is known as plastic deformation. Plastic meaning the crystal is altered but doesn't form back into place. And why does that happen? Well, poor little diamond sitting in the mantle thought it'd done a damn fine job. It had managed to grow, and then it finds itself caught up in a mountain building event.
Oh.
Exactly.
My God.
Continental crust collides together and pushes up the diamond. It pushes up the crust to form these magnificent mountain ranges. But then you've got this diamond going, hang on a minute, and this causes the carbon atoms just to slip out of place. Slip back. Imagine slip back. And that causes a dislocation. And this little dislocation within the stone, then because the pressure is continual, it moves through the crystal, leaving this wake of vacancy clusters behind it. And these vacancy clusters, i.e. gaps in the crystal, causes an absorption, and that absorption results in diamonds. It also results in brown diamonds. Less appealing, less valuable, but still, nonetheless, relevant. But also red, the rarest diamond of the coloured of the diamond of them all. In fact, there's only 30 unmodified reds recognised by grading labs around the world. So that is a very exclusive colour, possibly, well, the rarest, with orange just slipping next to you.
Unlike seeing more reds coming out of the ground as well.
Well, have you seen, oh no, I can't say, the Unmentionables have just released their own range from...
That's the Russians, by the way.
Thank you, Alan.
Yes.
It's like saying Macbeth backstage, you know, it's the same kind of thing these days in the diamond industry. The blue, we've already covered blue, it's the ocean's best kept secret. So it's that boron that causes the majority of, well, the rarest of the diamonds. But however, it's also caused by hydrogen. Hydrogen's another way of causing blue in a diamond, as is irradiation. But it's irradiation of low nitrogen stones. So you'll see an awful lot of, tends to correlate with treated stones, really.
Orange and green is quite rare too, then?
Orange, green. Green is when the diamond's managed to make it to the surface and it found itself getting lodged in puddles, so ancient groundwater, or sat next to radioactive bearing minerals such as zircon, which have a kind of uranium content, and that uranium content, as the uranium breaks down into sort of subatomic alpha beta particles, and that hits away at the surface of the stone, causing colour centres, and so you get the skin of green. It doesn't tend to be very thick at all. It's very, very rare indeed to get a concentrated colour of green on a stone because of the mechanisms which have actually formed it. You tend to get more of a like staining to the surface of the diamond, really.
Can I just ask which colours are then most desired, most valuable?
Well, down to the rarity, it would be red. Then orange is also exceptionally rare as well. The mechanism that causes that is still a little bit in debate. But they think that it might be associated with oxygen. It's just one particular absorption feature. But again, we're trying to feel our way through that. Well, the scientific community, I'm not personally, the scientific community are trying to work through what could potentially cause that. But in terms of desirability, that's trend-led as as much as anything else. What colour's fashionable, I suppose. But I'm going to stop talking for a minute because I'm going to carry on talking, but I am going to we're going to try our hand at a little bit of colour diamond grading. The purpose of this exercise is twofold. One, we get pairs each. The purpose of the exercise is twofold. One, I'm trying to prove a point, really. I want to see whether, as we recognise rarity,
I don't know.
I just need to make sure I've got everyone's attention because the diamonds have started appearing on the table. I know, I've lost them. It's like 30 seconds. Come on guys, all eyes on me. Off the diamonds. Just for a minute. You can put your eyes back on the diamonds in a minute. The purpose of the exercise is one, to emphasise that it's rarity, not aesthetics, that really drives the value of the stone. And two, just to give you a taster, a teaser as to how to colour grade a diamond.
Guys,
In the hope.
can I just say, if you do, by any chance, drop your diamond, do not panic. Okay? Do not panic, it happens. So just stop what you're doing. What, dropping your pocket or? No, it's not dropping your pocket. That's a different conversation. The other thing is, we've given you a pair of diamonds each. If you can keep them separate, that would be very much appreciated for us. So when you get them out, just do them one at a time. It's just if you think you've confused them, don't worry. Just let us know, we can start them apart.
Everyone's got a pair. Hold up. Let's get the Christmas wrapping over and done with. Children, isn't it? Everyone gets their pouches out. Remove the cellophane packaging just so we keep the table relatively clutter-free. It will make for a better, nicer experience. Try not to drop your diamonds in your tea either. I have had students who have swallowed gemstones before. I really don't want to be in that position today. So everyone's got their pouches ready? Yeah. Right, so... And everyone's got their pairs of diamonds, and everyone's got their pairs. Everyone's happy with who they're working with. Yeah. Right. So let's get this going then. First and foremost, Sabrina, you want to join?
Yeah. I will be joining diamond grading, guys.
We're doing it in 3 stages. Lights, card, action. So, no, cards. Lights, card, action. So lights, first of all, I want you all to open your lights, which are sitting like these grey little...
Mind your champagne, ladies.
Yeah, mind your champagne. So you're lifting your flip up. Now these lights are daylight lamps. In a lab environment, you need a standardized lighting. So we use daylight. I'm not talking dusk or dawn. I'm talking specifically between approximately 10 and 2 in the afternoon on a cloudy day. We need a uniform diffuse lighting. In our lab, we use a 15-watt Diesel bulb. So it remains standardized throughout all the grading processes. This is the first key factor to diamond grading. Make sure you have a standardized light, which you're going to be observing the colour in your stone. Second, card. Right, in your little pouches, you all have a little card with the Beers logo printed on it. This is your colour card. This is going to give you a neutral background in which to observe the colour of the diamond. Now, you don't want any other influence on the colour of the stone, so that's why we will require that white neutral background, and as clean as possible as well. So does anyone know how to fold your colour card?
Is it like origami?
A little bit. Now, there, you take the score at the centre of the card and fold it in. So, like that, yes, in half. Absolutely lovely. Now the other two quarters you want to fold back in on themselves. So start with the ones that are run lengthways. So, do you mind if I demonstrate? So, got this? Then you take my son, you take this. Oh, thank you. So you want it to look a little bit like a zigzag, right? Oh, wow. Lovely. And then you're going to be pinching in, a bit like just about making a paper aeroplane. Pinching in the edges. Lovely. Right. So you have your standardised light, you have your neutral background. Now, action, we need the diamonds. Okay, so you're going to be working in pairs. You're each going to be responsible for one of the diamonds in your pairs to make sure that that diamond goes back into that box. I mean, I will be checking everything afterwards, do not worry. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take your diamond, pop open those boxes. So you each are responsible for one diamond each.
We'll bill you out.
Yeah. Pop open those. Best to keep them on the table while you're opening them, because otherwise they'll pop. So do pop. Yeah. Then I want you to tip your diamond. Don't touch it. Tip your diamond onto the dust cloth. You've been given the dust cloth. Each been given a dust cloth. You should have one each. So just tip it on, tip it on, tip it on, tip it on, tip it on. Tip it on, tip it on. Right. Now give it a clean, because then we're going to introduce you to your first weapon of choice, tool. You're going to be using your tweezers. So the tweezers are secreted in the spine of your pouch. So take out your tweezers. You find your tweezers? There we are. Right, does anyone know why we use tweezers with polished diamond grading? Absolutely. Diamonds are, there's a really lovely fancy word for it, they're oleophilic. I.e., they're grease monkeys. There's dangling bonds. They're cross-bearer electrons that have nothing to do on the surface of the diamond. So they quite like the hydrocarbons in grease, so they will hang on at every which way. Which is why when you put your hand cream on your diamonds, it completely kills the life out of them. So what we need to do is make sure we are using our tweezers in order to observe our diamond, because we don't want any sticky fingerprints on the stones. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to make sure your diamond is table side down. Are all diamonds table side down? Now I want you to take your tweezers and I want you to very gently squeeze the diamond at the girdle. So that's the outline, the round outline of the stone. Don't go picking it up by table and pull it. I want you to be doing it at the side of the stone. So make sure it's table side down. That's right. Yeah. That part, and then make sure. And then I want you to put the diamond into the colour card with its pavilion in the V. So it's facing you. You want it to face up. Not in the coffee. I'm so pleased. So it's everyone's diamond face up.
So table up. Yeah. Big side up, please.
Table up. Right, so now I'm going to give you a little, I'm going to test you quiz. This is where the first quiz comes into play. Alright? Yeah, right. So everyone's table up. Yeah. Between the two of you, I want you to make a note as to which coloured stone. Just with the naked eye, which one is the better coloured stone? And make a note of it. The face up only. Has everyone made a note of what they consider the better stone to be? No, not at all. I love to read. We'll work with that. All right. Do we have consensus? Everyone agree to disagree on each pair? Yeah. Okay. We all agree to disagree, or agree to agree to agree to agree?
Change our mind.
Okay, good. Because then we're going to move on to the next step of the exercise, and that's to actually grade it like proper graders. And we're going to flip the stone. So the table, so the flat side, is sitting on the slope of your little colour card facing you. So you're looking in to the bottom of the diamond, into the pavilion. So yeah. Don't worry, you don't need no loops required. Yes. So that way round. So the slope facing towards you, you want to flip over. Yeah? Now,
I'll give you guys a sneak
the
peek,
technique
okay?
you require to grade these diamonds. Do I have everyone's attention? I'm going to start getting proper teacher on you.
With my ugly phone.
So I want you to place your tray under the light, around 20 centimetres underneath the light, so that's really where you kind of want to be. You're a bit close, because you want to avoid any reflections. What we want to be doing is looking into the pavilion of the stone. Because the brilliant cut
So, this is a grading card, and now I'm going to see what I've learned.
You didn't fold your grading card right. I'll say that.
Yeah. And so here you can see the diamond. This is actually quite close, so you can see the bottom of the stone now. But you can see one inclusion. Does Sarah want to help me grade this so I can win?
Do I get a prize?
Do you get a prize? I want the prize. There you go. Can you see the one inclusion? There's that one inclusion. So how is that So how is that graded? If it's one big one in the middle.
The question is, can you see it with the naked eye? So you have to remove it, no magnification. If you can see it with the naked eye, it's going to be an I1 stone. Because that big feather is in the center of the stone, it's definitely going to be at least a low SI, possibly an I stone.
Okay.
So I have to look at it without all these magnifications.
I can't see it.
Were you right?
Do you see it?
Were you guys right?
Out.
Were you guys right?
Magnification.
Well done, well done.
Were you guys right?
I like every diamond, that's the problem.
No, I'd say that's an SI stone.
Yeah, I called it SI too.
There you go. Wish you guys were here.
Yeah.
Well, whichever one you thought was the better stone.
Yeah.
Were you right when you flipped it?
Yes. But
Damn it, they've all got jobs as graders. Disproved my theory. It was definitely tricky. Good. Now, have I got time to
But
do
a
the
lot
next
of
step?
people did say, it looks very different when you're looking through the table of the diamond.
very
different from the pavilion. So, exactly. Exactly, and you get a much bigger surface area to look through the pavilion, so that makes it a little bit easier for you. Good stuff, well done, ladies.
Do I have time to do the next step, or should we past 3? Should we have a break for some? I was just about to say. Actually, can I? I've got about 5 minutes left of the session. You give me 5 more minutes just to round it up, and then as these guys just clear through, and then I'm going to hand you. You're going to have a little break and hand you over to Alan. Okay?
If you could pop your diamonds
Yes.
back into the phosphate box, that would be amazing.
Yes, please.
Unfortunately, I need them back.
Alright. I'm just going to whiz through. I'm lost it. Right, guys. Can I just round up the presentation from my side, just so we can get past through the last two C's, and then I'm going to hand you over to Alan after a little nibble. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, let's say I'll pass the goodie bag.
Right. If I can ask you to put your diamonds back in their individual pots, we will collect those in. We then have 5 more slides, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll move on to the rough diamonds. So we'll just finish off this section, and then we'll move on.
It won't take long. I know I have a tendency to ramble on a bit, so I do apologise. Right, do I have your attention just for the last 2 slides? Right, clarity. Well, clarity is an interesting one because it's ultimately the graders, how visible internal features, or demonologically speaking, inclusions or clarity features are to a grader using 10 times magnification. So that's being able to get the stone 10 times closer to the eye than is otherwise naturally possible. Now the interesting part about clarity grading is that you can pretty much go down all the way down to the very lowest grades before they even become even vaguely visible, damaging to the aesthetics of the stone. But they still command its so why grade clarity at all if it's not influencing the appearance of the diamond? Again, we go circle straight back to rarity. For a diamond to grow in the earth, reside there for billions of years, then find their way up on a turbulent volcanic eruption, then travel the surface of the earth, then find themselves at the hands of a diamond cutter. It's remarkable that they've managed to do that without finding themselves getting something caught up in the growing process or a little fracture here or there. But what's so wonderful about the clarity features is that they genuinely are the fingerprint of the stone. They tell its story. I mean, I've got here pictured a garnet in a diamond. Yeah? I know from that garnet, I know that it would have grown in those exclusive little pockets of rock because that's remnants of the host rock in which it grew. That's like, if I really want to get poetic and possibly a bit weird, it's like the womb of the diamond just caught up inside. I knew it. I never saw that one. Then we have this beautiful sulfide rosette in a diamond. They're honestly the most exquisite features. You've got this metallic sulfide in the heart of this graphitic rosette. Now, they are very common features in diamonds. You see them like the black dots. But these black dots are actually used as one of the key tools to date a diamond. They're the diamond's timepiece. You've got these little twinning wisps. So halfway through the growth of the diamond diamond decides to grow off in a different direction, and you result in these little dislocations and pinpoints throughout the crystal. Then you have this graining in a diamond. That's caused by that deformation, that plastic deformation, they slip. That's the diamond being pushed on all sides by mountains growing. Then you've got the fracture. It got hit on a rock halfway down the Orange River. I mean, when you look at a clarity plot, you're not just looking at faults in the stone. No, you are looking at the birthplace of the diamond and that little crystal. You're looking at that diamond deciding to change direction halfway through growth. And you're looking at the fracture when everything just got a little bit too much just for a minute. It's telling the story of the stone. This is its unique fingerprint, and it makes my heart sing.
So that's where you get the VDS and SI, etc. from, these things, or that's separate?
What?
When you're grading the SI,
Yes.
VDS.
Yes. They're features on the clarity font.
Right.
This is not looking pretty for us. I'm
No,
not going to lie.
that's like,
I mean, the size of that crystal inclusion.
That's like an SSI
We are
we're
definitely down in the I grade. I've definitely got an I grade setter there. Now, finally, I am going to move. Sorry, carry on.
If there isn't crystal inside that, like one of those big gem things, would that be classed as an SI?
It depends on the size, the position, the location, the nature. There is an awful lot of factors that go into play. I can't underplay how nuanced and technical clarity grading actually is in a lab environment. You really are working to extreme level of standard. So, I mean, I can talk you through that maybe when we're looking at the polished diamonds a bit later. But when it comes to cut, we're moving into a completely different territory. This is where we get involved as humans. Now, the first three that we went through, well, they very much were about the rarity of the stone. It's very rare to get a large, inclusion-free, colourless or fancy-coloured diamond. But here's the thing. You can tweak a carat weight. You can enhance a colour. You can disguise a clarity feature with the appropriate amount of skill in the diamond cutter, because when it comes to the cut grade, you are looking at the quality of the cut, so it's proportions, size and angle of the facets. You're looking at the symmetry, that arrangement, the symmetrical arrangement of the facets, and you're looking at the quality of polish. These are all testament to the skill of the cutter, and over the course of thousands of years we've got to understand the diamond so much more. We've got to understand its properties, its hardness, so we've worked out in order to cut a diamond, you need to use diamonds because nothing else is going to cut it. We've worked out that it has exceptional reflectivity, which means we get a beautiful luster, so you polish it sufficiently and it'll shimmer away. Sorry. We worked out that it bends light quite dramatically, so you can get that wonderful brilliance, that return of light to the eye. And then we also have worked out that it has a great dispersion value. That means if the light hits it at an angle, then that light will separate out into spectral colours and give you that characteristic fire, which we know so well. And we've manipulated this over years. I'm not going to go into the history of diamond cutting. I was going to touch on it, but I've decided I'm going to leapfrog that one a little bit because I might lose you all completely. But ultimately, we have now got to a point where technology has advanced sufficiently, especially with cutting, where we can actually engineer a perfect diamond, one that maximizes the beauty of the stone by returning just the right amount of brilliance and polish. In terms of grading, it's probably one of the most complex, but interestingly, it's the one that a discerning consumer can most readily spot. An excellent cut next to a poor cut stone, a good cut stone, is excellent cut versus good cut, is very easy for the eye to pick up on, as demonstrated in this beautiful image. But bottom line, cut is an acknowledgement of the symbiosis between us and the diamond. It really is, and it circles us back to that connection that we have with diamond, which is really irreplaceable. And I'm sorry, but I threw in a little tiny slide just right at the end of it, because I came across this post on LinkedIn which made my heart sing, but summarised everything perfectly. And this was written by a diamond cutter from Surat, who's with 34 years of experience. And he writes, every single natural diamond has a unique story, as I learned last 34 years on each and every rough diamonds. Sometimes I speak with the diamonds in panning time. I tell to rough diamonds, do you want a coffee? I love it. That I find that's going to be my segue to Alan's section. An opportunity for you guys to have something to eat and drink. And thank you for letting me waffle on about diamonds. I quite like them.
asking Kim about one ring. He's seeing much like that. But I don't think it's going to fit me. If we get time later. I thought yeah. Lots of it. I brought in stuff exactly for this event. Yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay. So maybe later we go get that one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll bring that up. Don't worry.
Guys, thank you so much for being part of our day today. I'm sorry you're not here in person. We're just going to have a bit of a mingle. This is behind the scenes. We do have some jewelry here I can show you as well. Hello, B. How are you? So I have brought in some beautiful new jewels just for today's event. So I'm going to show you real quick. You can pan the jewelry. Guys, look at this. This is a GIA certified diamond pendant. We've got and everything's natural diamonds, guys. All natural diamonds. And then, of course, we've got some Bulgari jewelry. We've got some stupendously cool cocktail rings. This unbelievable diamond bracelet. We've got more natural GIA certified diamond pendants here. Harry Winston ear studs, GIA certified rings. It goes on and on. There is so much happening here. And look at all of these yellow diamonds, natural diamonds. This ring, oh my God, guys, this ring has got 3 GIA certified diamonds in a halo cluster. It's insane. This is a flawless diamonds here, marquise cut. I know, Tally, I don't know either. It's a bargain too. And guys, here's your talking point question today. So if you were a diamond, what shape would you be? So that's your talking point. You can have a little conversation. Of course, we've got lots of Alhambra jewelry going on here as well. And you know, it just goes on and on and on. So anything you guys look up, don't hesitate to grab us. Come on, some of these you have never ever seen before. Look at the size of these ear studs. And look at this emerald cut diamond. Some amazing, amazing jewelry here today. So we're still going, we're having fun. We're just gonna have a little food break. So I'll leave the camera on for you guys to enjoy everything that's going on here. This is real life at Luxury Promise, I'm telling you now. But we're just gonna have a nibble and then we'll be back with more De Beers action. 10 minutes? Any questions? I know, Tally, that emerald cut, GIA certified. And the price is insane, like real, I mean, genuinely. I have got things coming in from people who are just clearancing out old stock. So it's brand new stuff from jewelers who are clearancing out old stock. So the prices are cost prices. They are bonkers cheap. So anything you need to see, let me know. I'm here for you guys. We're still going live and strong straight from here. I'm gonna get a snack.
It is so fascinating. But
the thing is, it is the same thing if you look at the geology of oil. It is.
But they showed the two guys at the same time. Yeah. That guy was in the red one. It's a red one.
Do you know about your enough? Okay.
Me too.
I got this for like.
As a camping system, I want to get her on that. I'll take her. I know, I can't.
Are you particular on the colour? Okay, what colour?
Basically, I saw someone wear, I saw a guy wearing it.
Yeah. Now you want it.
So much better than I thought it would.
Are you gonna do like the whole like Birkin boy look? Like top to toe.
Okay. I don't like the
whole Birkin boy.
No, what should
Like I know it's like these.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I'm very careful who I follow. You know when you follow someone, and then you get to know it. Yeah, and then you're just like, I haven't seen what's in it. It's like that. Okay, I'll see.
I've got all the plastic bags, but I don't know how to break any shares about when people like it. It's not that big, like
which is nice. Yeah.
He doesn't show face, does he?
He never shows his face. He's American. But he's one of those where like, I think it's like all
Yeah.
They must have something to have that connection.
With the first thing on the Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
What is it that you do?
Yeah.
There's that meme on Instagram where like, the missing piece of the puzzle.
Generational wealth.
No, 1 billion. I was like, yeah, that's the missing piece of my life. No. What? So what did you do?
Oh no, we missed that. Yeah.
Let's throw off the bar.
Thank you. I've been hiding way upstairs. So how are you doing?
Oh, is that the one we weren't sure?
Yeah.
Slightly. You need to watch the show. You realise you're buying. It's kind of curious about it. So I know that's why I'm not buying you.
Yes, sorry, the other one.
But they did a donation, I think.
I'm just sort of sat there looking at him really hard.
How the kids have got back.
She's not.
There's no confusion now.
Oh no, free love is fine. Because you're not putting the money in.
Yeah, exactly.
I want you to look at the ring one day.
Guys, have you used
And just understand.
They love it. He's still good.
Yes, it's on the pop-up thing. You're actually like, I wasn't there. She's like constant. I thought you were like,
Oh, hi.
I'm probably emaciated. Like, about like, it's got to stop somewhere. Like, You're out of your life. Totally out of your life. I think I could just about do it outside. Honestly, I know it sounds silly, but it's actually it drags and creates friction outside of it. You know what? I love the budget. I'm so by that ring. The love letter was remember you saw that like the day I got it.
Yeah, I've had one of those.
Oh well. You're in the wrong place. What if it comes up with
I'd be really concerned.
It's possible to make
Absolutely none of those things. This is true. Really emphasise. She's an independent woman. She tries her own. We support
I don't know.
Just the
I should get the red one.
The work. Look at you virtuously giving it back. Well done.
I'll message you. I got you for it. Yeah, if I push it a little bit. Yeah, well, then it's basically like a tubular design and it just has that. So
Is that the one that I want?
Thank you.
Well, we've all tried that one.
We were opening waiting on her. So what do I need to do about my dropping?
Nima's back on Monday.
Okay. So really, might be giving me a price on it.
It's true.
I would say, yeah. We're going to do these. Yeah, same. Yeah. It is. You want this to that's what you want. Yeah.
He's done the other part of the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I researched it.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
That's what I'm doing.
The PowerPoint you have the presentation here.
That's it.
Yeah. You got it on my phone? Don't like pre-productions, yeah. I'm not used to that. Like, balance that. Can't go close to it, so you're a bit Okay.
Ladies, gentlemen, we're going to have a little intermission right now. So keep eating, sorry guys, Laura. So keep eating, keep drinking, have fun. But I want to introduce you to an amazing insider into the jewelry world, which is a friend of mine, Sarah Royce Greensill. She's a journalist. She's written for Vanity Fair, for FT, for Telegraph, Times, everybody. But her whole world is tracking luxury jewelry trends and the jewelry industry. So she's just going to give us a really quick little insight into what we're looking forward to. Oh, that's my daughter. There you go. Why is it not working anymore? Nikos! drinks and everything, and we'll be back. And don't worry, we've got more diamonds.
Yeah, we just thought while you're finishing up your little afternoon tea, I talk you through the trends, and then once you're all finished, we're going to go to something a bit more hands-on with the diamonds. So as Sarah said, I'm a jewellery editor and consultant. So I was the jewellery editor at the Telegraph for 10 years. Also wrote for Vanity Fair, Vogue, Condé Nast Traveller, New York Times, a variety of publications. So kind of my whole world is going out finding the designers, the trends, the stories, and then I also work with private clients to do personal shopping to help people find kind of unique individual pieces, whether that's people who are looking for gifts or people who are looking to treat themselves. So my kind of ethos is everyone has the classics, everyone loves big brands, but it's introducing people to those kind of like smaller niche but really talented jewellers that are still using amazing gemstones. I'm so sorry, Sarah, we're going to see your daughter again. I'm touching it. So yeah, introducing people to designers that have amazing craftsmanship, amazing gemstones, and just helping people find something that's unique. So yeah, I don't know why that's first started, but okay. I'm less prepared than Liv is. Sorry, guys.
Knowing the history of war is more prepared.
I know. So I was just going to talk you through kind of 5 trends in the fine jewellery world. I always think the word trends is slightly misleading with jewellery because it moves so much slower than fashion. It's not like, we're buying something new every season. We're investing a lot of money in these pieces. They're designed to last. So it's less of like a trend in that you have to throw everything out and buy something new. It's more kind of a mood shift. And if you are looking to invest in something to add to your collection, what are the things that might be a little bit fresher, a little bit more contemporary? So the first one, and also the other thing about trends in jewellery is they move very slowly. So some of these trends, mood shifts, we've seen throughout the last kind of 3-4 years. And also everything is a personal preference. So the first one I'm going to talk about is this move towards big, bold gold, yellow gold specifically. I find the colour of gold is really a personal preference. Some people would never touch yellow gold, some people only wear yellow gold. Rose gold was a really big thing a few years ago, less so now, but it really suits some complexions. But in terms of this trend, it's all about that kind of like the chunkier, the better, those really big like 70s, 80s style, like chunky chains, big earrings, like the charm bracelets. So we've got some designers here. On the left, we've got a designer called Retrovide, who I love. I saw this necklace in Vegas last year, and I just did not want to take it off. I was just like, oh, don't touch me.
Is it joined together, the 2 layers?
No, these are 2 separate necklaces.
And
So
does that come with it, the pendant, or do you?
yes. So with this one, that's an emerald that comes with it, and it's the type of piece that you can just wear with jeans, with jumpers. Well, I'm obsessed with that piece. In the same vein, this big chunky heart-shaped bracelet. This is a designer called Harwell Godfrey who reset her own engagement ring diamond into this really big chunky honeycomb-inspired ring, and I'm obsessed with it all. So that's kind of the first.
What was the name of the first one?
The first one is called Retrovide. Retrovide, I can tell you afterwards. These are American designers, but yeah, this is like really something that we see kind of throughout the industry, and it's also, I think, gold is really, really expensive, right? So it's like this new, almost like the status symbol of like, if you adorn yourself in gold, we're all quite conditioned to think, diamonds, bling, that's what makes something expensive or valuable. But gold is so expensive that it's kind of like, if you can wear that much gold, then, it's a signifier of something.
Oh.
I love it. Exactly. So the second trend I'm calling layering 2.0. So for a few years now, we've all got used to kind of like layering our necklaces, our pendants, our bracelets, and it started off with kind of quite dainty, fine chains, charms, that kind of thing, which are still super popular. But I feel like now the mood in layering has gone towards, again, chunkier, bigger, bolder. I love the look where you have like a few of these. You have like a diamond riviere layered with a gold chain, maybe layered with a pendant. It's super wearable, and it's a way to make something like a diamond riviere necklace, which is very classic, very traditional. Just makes it a bit more contemporary, a bit more youthful. It's you can wear it in the daytime, you can wear it all day long. and this idea of combining different kind of widths, thicknesses of chains, and it works really well. And it also avoids, I can't remember who I was talking to earlier about when you layer lots of different data ones, they all get tangled up. But I feel like if you, I'm Sarah, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to keep talking. I feel like if you have like something a bit weighty, you avoid that issue with them all tangling up. So again, on the far left you have Jessica McCormack. That's actually the second one is Jessica McCormack as well. This is a brand called J. Trow in the US.
I love Jessica McCormack.
Yeah, Jessica McCormack. I think her whole approach is like day diamonds that you can wear in the daytime, and I think that is like the real contemporary way to wear them, because they're so beautiful, and as we've been hearing, they're so rare. It's such a shame to keep them locked away in the safe and to not wear them. So this trend is all about layer it up. So then the third one I'm calling So Fancy. And this is all about fancy cut diamonds. So as we were hearing from that amazing presentation, the cut on a diamond certificate actually refers to the quality of the cut, so how well it's cut, how symmetrical it is, how well it reflects light. And it's kind of confusing because we also use the word cut to refer to the shape of a cut, or the shape of a diamond. So that's why we all chose ours, cushion cut, emerald cut, brilliant cut, pear cut. I'm seeing a real trend towards these so-called fancy cut diamonds, which is like a heart cut or a really beautiful shield shape that we've got in the far left, which is a brand called Asley. This is Eva Ferren, who uses like amazing hexagonal, triangular, like those really unusual gemstones, those unusual cuts of diamonds. This is Rachel Boston, who's a London-based jeweller based in East London. And I think this really speaks to people's desire for something original and something unique. It still has all the sparkle and the brilliance and that lovely look of a diamond, but you don't see it all the time, So this is Jessica McCormack again. Lovely, asymmetrical, just that bit of interest that still has that intrinsic value of an amazing natural diamond. The thing about fancy cuts as well, the reason they are fancy, is because there's a lot of wastage in the rough material. So when you cut round brilliant diamonds, which most diamonds are cut into because they're commercially popular, it's quite an efficient way of cutting diamonds. If you're cutting something like a triangle or a shield or a kite, you're wasting so much of that rough, which is why they do tend to be a little bit more expensive. But yeah, I think they're unique. It's kind of that edgy, modern vibe that I really, really like. The fourth trend I'm calling secret symbolism. So again, we all love our zodiacs and our initials and our names and everything like that. Something that feels really personal to us. I think that's the lovely thing about jewellery. It's like it tells a story, it's personal, it's imbued with so many memories. I think we're slightly now seeing a move, not away from that, but as well as towards a slightly more subtle kind of secret symbolism where it's not quite so obvious. Me, for example, it's not obvious that I'm wearing my son's name on my necklace, but these gemstones on this piece, they spell out his name. It's called an acrostic jewel, so the first letter of each gemstone spells out his name, Luca. So it's like little things like that where if you're looking at someone, you wouldn't know, but once you ask about it, there's a story behind it, which is really lovely. So on the far left there, you've got an American brand called Dime. She does these incredible...
Sarah.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I met with her to get a story.
Oh, yeah, she's so unique what she does. So she does these like bespoke kind of hieroglyphics that tell people's life story. When you're looking at that ring, you have no idea what those pieces mean, but they all mean something really special to the person who commissioned it. This is Cece Fainke, the second one along. She works with an enamelist. So she's trained as a fine artist, so she will paint up a bespoke picture and people can say, I want something to represent I met my husband in Hawaii, or like our son's name is Bear, or this is my star sign, and she'll bring all of those facets together and create a bespoke portrait, which then her enamelist does in miniature on signet rings and pendants. And they're just, I think they're wildly popular because the process of going through that, it's like telling your life story and then having this piece of jewellery that represents that represents your whole family, that represents like a funny story or like something really special to you, or a, you've got a promotion or whatever it is, all embedded into that one unique piece of jewellery. So she's really popular at the moment. Her name was Cece. C-E-C-C-E. Cece Jewellery. She's amazing. The third one along is a jeweller called Hattie Rickards, and again it's that idea of this pendant spins, and this is all the birthstones of the client's family embedded in there. So again, it's like a really nice way to pay tribute to your kids or your family or your significant other or whoever it is, without necessarily, having their name around your neck. And then I really love these. These are Robinson Pelham, and they use different cuts of diamonds, different shapes of diamond to spell out messages. So this one is like love struck, that one's like love you, and this one is I'd die for you. Wow. Isn't that so cool? Like, again, just something super romantic. I love that one because it's like, the message in it is actually really romantic and sweet and sentimental, but it's just such a cool, kind of like edgy, gothic looking piece of jewellery. And again, like they were telling me to cut these diamonds, like to cut that coffin-shaped diamond in the four is like so incredibly wasteful. They were like, yeah, kind of expensive. But like such a cool and unique piece, and again a conversation piece. And then the final trend, which isn't really a trend because people have been doing this for literally centuries, is turning something old into something new. So I have a lot of clients come to me with inherited pieces, heirlooms, or just pieces that they were given and they don't like, they don't wear. Again, these gems are so precious, it's such a shame for them not to be worn. And then we work with jewellers, contemporary jewellers, to turn them into something new. So this was an inherited pair of earrings from the client's granny, 2 pairs of earrings actually, that we turned into her wedding earrings. And the blue sapphires are detachable, so she can wear them as just as diamond earrings, and then she can have the sapphires on there as her something blue for her wedding. And then this one was actually, it was a client who'd been married for 10 years, and I think this is a big trend in engagement rings. Sometimes, if you've been married a while, maybe you didn't choose your engagement ring in the first place, and you have something that's quite classic but doesn't necessarily feel like you and reflect your style. There is a growing move towards, and some people are like, that's atrocious, I would never do that, that's absolute blasphemy. Some people are like, actually, I have to wear it every day, I want something that reflects me, that reflects my style. So she worked with a jeweller in East London called Bear Brooks Bank to turn it into just something, going back to trend number 1, big, bold, gold, chunky, that felt more like her, that felt more like her style, but retaining that inherent sentimentality of the central diamond. And I know we were talking earlier about the, I'm so sorry, I've forgotten your name, but you have...
Daniela, yeah.
Daniela has a lovely ring with a diamond inherited from your mother, wasn't it, that you turned into something new. So again, it's not a new trend, but it's definitely a conversation that I see happening more and more. I think also plays into like the circular economy, as people are thinking, you don't necessarily want to have to go and buy new every time. What do you already have existing in your jewellery box, and how could you remodel it? How could you make it into something that you want to wear and love every day, and still have that meaning and that sentimentality? So that's something that I'm working with more and more with clients, and I love doing that because I think there's something so special. There's also a lot of kind of, I inherited this from my granny and it's a brooch and I just would never wear it, but it's hugely sentimentally important. There's something really special about them making that into something that they wear every day, and they're like, oh, granny's with me, like, I wear this every day. So that's my very brief overview of trends. If you have any questions about the jewellers or anything, please come over and chat to me, and I'll ask Sarah to send around my details to you guys so that, if there's anything, that's what I was going to say, and there's something odd, something new. Luxury Promise are now selling lots of lovely GIA certified diamonds, which you may or may not know what to do with. So that's another thing that we can work on, is introducing you to some cool jewellers who can make them into something really unique and special, and I think something that's really personal to you and has a story behind them. So that's it from now. Enjoy. Thank you very much for having me. Sorry for my presentation. And if you've got any questions, come with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's so interesting. I love that. Okay, so guys, thank you. We're going to keep going with some beautiful rough diamonds now from videos. So we're going to clear your plates. Anyone who needs bathroom breaks or anything, go run right now. But we've got more lovely things going. Is it over to Alan now?
It is.
Yes. Is this when we get to use microscopes?
absolutely very
No.
Alan's very shy, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Where's the IT guru to sort this out?
It was through the drop things.
So it might be an idea to just yeah, we're getting the weights out of the way as well. Because there's going to be a lot of diamond going around.
Not many.
What you probably got on there is the extension. What's it?
You're blind, you're wearing it. You give it back.
You want me to free
You
you?
do it. This woman here wants to try it on. You're going to have a vote? Try it on? Yeah. Look at the sound.
You troublemaker.
How much is it, Sarah?
Okay, I'll put you out of your misery. I'll let you know.
You want to know what number
Okay.
it starts with?
Yes.
Yeah. It starts with a 1.
Maybe.
You reckon? Let's see. Where do I get it? You know, like when you have to guess the amounts of sweets in a jar and you win the sweets. Do you think it's like that if we get...
It starts with a 2.
It starts with a 2? Oh, I was wrong.
3.
You were right. That means I win it, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like the sweets in the jar.
Oh, sorry, did I meant to mention? Yes, the prize you can keep it.
No. It's nearly 18 carats, just shy of 18 carats. Can't afford it. It's like POA, isn't it? That means you can't afford it. No.
I've never understood. It really annoys me.
Yeah.
There's nothing bothers me.
The POA.
Oh, sorry, I'm just
Basically, you
can't afford this. But I'm like, there's more about it.
No, but we like this one.
Yeah, it's fine. It's actually right out.
You both send the taste like let's examine it. Let's examine it under the light.
No, it's just
What sort of stones are they now that we're into stones? And they
come on, get to work. Swing your powers to the test.
Right then, ladies, so, and gentlemen.
Put it upside down.
So we're now going to move on to talking a little bit about rough diamonds. So we've gone through the polished diamonds, and we always like to do polished diamonds first, because ultimately you need to understand the outcome before you start to examine your rough diamond. You need to know what you want to get from that rough diamond in terms of the polished outcome. So we've done your polished, now we're going to look at the rough diamonds, and Alan is going to take you through how we sort and categorise the rough diamonds. And as I said earlier, this is really where De Beers comes into its own. Our main business is actually discovering, mining and selling rough diamonds. Alan's been with the business 34 years and counting. Most of our artists, most of our... we stole him at 16. And it's a real testament to the fact that when you work with De Beers, it's one of the best companies to work for in terms of diamonds, but fundamentally it's all about falling in love with the diamond and becoming quite addicted to diamonds. So everybody you meet within De Beers
is very much addicted to diamonds. So I'll hand you over to Alan and we'll get into some hands-on activities around the rough diamond. I think all of the cups and plates are going away, and as soon as they're away...
I'd also like to say is that they really fooled me when I started work. Got the interview, accepted me, finished my last exam on the Thursday, and I started work on the Monday. So I had no 6 weeks holiday, anything. I didn't realise you could do that. But it worked out quite well. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But just going back to Beth, I showed that fantastic picture of the volcano. This is actually a piece of kimberlite. This is a piece of rock from South Africa.
Oh, wow.
And this is the host rock that diamond's in. Now, it's not the rock it grows in, this is the transport to the surface. So when it's 300 kilometres down, this mantle plume comes up and drags the diamonds up with it. And this is where they understand that kimberlite is a deep mantle rock based upon its composition. It's very heavy, so just be careful.
So that's the diamond.
And there's a diamond in it as well. Now, when I first had it, I thought, oh, there's a bit of luck finding out that they glued it into it, didn't they? It's a nice size yellow stone, 18 carats, but you'll be really lucky to find a stone like that in a piece of rock. Now, we usually measure our output by carat per 100 tonnes, and even some of our biggest mines, we're only looking like maybe 20 carats per 100 tonnes.
Alan, you gained a lot of hearts on mine.
Am I? Right. I wish you'd have said that. I'm doing really well now. I'm doing really well. Oh, that was really
It's not you, Alan, it's the giant 18-carat diamond.
Oh, right, exactly. Yeah, it makes me better now. So the actual piece of kimberlite is quite unique as well. Because when they extract them from the core, they usually break them up to liberate the diamonds from it. Now, this is a quite unique product we have here, which you can't usually see. It's a run-of-mine parcel. And the run-of-mine is the raw products that come out of the ground only mine. So every single colour, quality, model, rough diamonds in that parcel there. We had to actually replicate it from our own production, so because even we couldn't get a hold of this, because as soon as it comes out of the ground, it's sorted and valued to extract the most value from it. So there's stones in there worth about $10,000, and there's a lot of stones in there worth about 10 cents. And this is and everything in between. This is the breadth of the value we have in the stones. So I'll do that in a minute, a sort of exercise. But categorisations within it. Which will make you unique and rare. Large stones, these are diamonds that are rough, over 10.8 carats. Now, why it's 10.8, I still haven't got a straight answer from the business on that, but this produces roughly 3 to 4 carat polished minimum from these stones. And it's probably, from an average production of any mine, it's less than 1% of the volume, but about 10% of the value of the production. So this is where most people focus their efforts on. Then you've got ranges of like 2 to 10 carats. Again, higher value pieces here, any 1 to 3 carats polished you're producing from these. And that's about 40% of the value of your diamonds in your mine. So half of your value is just over 10% of your volume. You can see what I'm going with here. This is really rare stuff. This is gives you 1 to 3 carat polished pieces. Could be any colours. And then the plus 10.8, so I used to work in that department dealing with like the 300-400 carat stones, the light balloons and pinks. That was a really quite fun place to be. Very few of those stones you will see passing through any mine. Then you've got your grainers, and a grainer is an antiquated term we still use in the industry in the rough side, which is 1/4 of a carat. So rather than referring to a 1 carat rough polish, so 1 carat rough stone, we'll refer it as a 4 grainer. A 6 grainer is a 1.5 carat stone. And those stones there, probably about 20% of the volume, again 30% of the value. And that's where the bulk of your pieces of jewellery are going to be produced from, because it's producing your 30 points up to 1 carat pieces. There's a lot of volume, a lot of value there. But most of the production for a mine is under 3 grams, under 65 points. Now that is probably about 70% of your volume coming out of the ground there. Huge amount of volume of diamonds, millions and millions of small stones. And these are all polished. I was chatting to the ladies over there about the size of or the parve setting in that. In India, the guys there are producing 1 carat, so 1 point polished pieces with 57 facets in it, perfectly symmetrical. And they're producing tons and tons of that because it's in high demand. If people want it, people could use it from the diamonds. Now, oh, I'm going to go back a sec. So one thing I need to show you how to do is how to use a hand whip. Now, I even showed Al Cook how to use this when he first joined the company. Because the worst thing you can have is like you see in the movies, where people are looking at diamonds like this. It's not how you look at it. It looks great on camera, but you need to keep it right close to your eye, and then you bring the diamond up until it's in sharp focus. Okay? Now, we're going to be looking at some diamonds towards the end of this anyway, and I'll go through it. But the important thing is that close to your eye, and then you can bring the stone up to sharp focus. It actually has to go quite close to the handle. Now, whether you hold it like this, or you hold it like that, is irrelevant. But with rough diamonds, they like being picked up with your hands, like your fingers. You don't use tweezers with rough diamonds because you can't take them. Yeah. So rough diamonds.
Everyone take out their loops and let's just get that loop in position, squared away. Yeah. And sometimes it depends whichever your dominant hand is, if you pick up the loop with your dominant hand.
So now, we were always told you keep both eyes open because it's really quite difficult to sit there and squint for 8 hours a day. But then what I do, I cheat. I actually cover my right eye with my hand and I look at my left eye. That's my dominant hand, not my eye.
So what you should do is work out which is your dominant eye. Does anyone know how to work out your dominant eye?
Do you think that how do you do that? Suited to an emerald purple or is it British? How would you do that?
No, the exercise itself, I'll show you exactly what I do.
Because I've often wondered whether you think that's going to be a bit perfect.
Every single mine will sort their diamond production. They will never sell it to some parts they will do. Small parts they might sell it as a dynamite part. The bigger stuff they will select. And what we're going to be doing as model exercise is showing you what to get emerald cuts.
Further away.
You need to do something a little bit further away. Take that champagne glass.
Far away.
Yeah, that champagne glass. In the centre, right eye, left eye. The one that's open when it's in the middle is your dominant eye.
So guys, just so you know, this is conservatively £100,000 diamonds.
You need to get it as close as possible.
Oh, by the way, please take
I want your loop right close to your eye. Yeah. Now, bring your thumbs and bring it close.
If you don't have your own diamonds, let me know. We've got some.
I know.
That's it. I will be showing you that.
You now know where the distance is.
No, I want to find where every day, so I thought this is perfect.
As everyone masters the hand, obviously the first thing you do is like to
Got it? I've got it. That's where you want your diamonds. My eyes are too red.
Tearing! Oh no!
I did this all day. I did this all day.
Because I'm going to give you a load of Indian stuff to look yourself, yeah. It's more to get you an idea of like what the
You're probably right.
So I did showing it.
But yeah, my
basically done my project. She said, yes, I know magic. It seems to be the magic. Quite hard.
I think I'm off. That one there. The big one there.
I would say we're going to actually
Everyone's out. Now you know what you need to do that.
How much is that one? What you put
Very well
Michelle, come back a second, because that's what we're working at. Right, so if everyone back in the room, most of your diamonds are going to be diamonds will be yellow or brown. That's pretty much phenomenal. So, colour-wise, as Beth was saying, most diamonds are yellow or brown because the nitrogen is what causes the yellow imperfections in the diamond, and the brown is caused by the plastic deformation, which means you can actually get a physical and a chemical coloration. You get yellow-brown diamonds as well, which look quite cool. Again, not very many of those. Now, your pinks, your purples, your reds are all caused by the same plastic deformation as Beth has outlined. Again, very rare. Now, the green ones are an interesting one because we only get those from one of our mines called Joanne in Botswana. And that was the irradiated groundwater millions or billions of years ago, which started irradiating the diamonds. And you get really nice diamonds just like this, very dark green. Unfortunately, it's only skin deep. So you start polishing that, they turn white or yellow, lots of them little colour, which is really frustrating. But that's the good thing is the talisman collection is taking a lot of those stones and putting them into actual rough jewellery, which means that we at least get to see the green coloration. Now, the interesting story of that is that when we were originally doing our mining, it's a layer across the part of the mine, and when we mine through it, the green disappeared. It's like, oh, great, job done, liquidate the samples, next thing they make another cut, green diamonds come back in again. So again, we're still mining through that layer. We're still getting some green stones coming out at the ground. Now,
Are they just
so that one's an interesting one. I'll come on to this thing. The black stones here are usually it's very low, poor quality diamonds. Now, the interesting thing, Beth was talking about the sulfide inclusions in diamonds. In South Africa, in some of the mines there, they have lots of diamonds with very large black sulfide inclusions to make them look black. And they've started marking a lot of those diamonds as being black diamonds. A lot of them are treated though to enhance that darkness. But with these quality, these sorts of diamonds, which you'll see as you're going around, there's a lot of these. And you try to polish those, they'll just break up because they are quite brittle and they usually look like conglomerates, twins, etc. together. But the quality of the diamonds, which we're talking about, the rough, this is what's turned into the polished. Now, the exercise is going to be on the model, so I'd like to go into a little bit of detail on this. Your inclusions will produce your VVS, your VS, your SI pieces, nicely at this end here. Once you get into this mid-range, again where the volume sits, there's actually a huge amount of value sitting there as well. Because they're the diamonds they break up and make into smaller, cleaner stones. Even into this area here. A nice big 20 carats, you can break it up, you might get a couple of 50 pointers out of there, it's still value. And this is where they're producing more and more of the smaller, cleaner melee pieces because of the technology they use in the industry. Now, it used to be a case of if I was a polisher, I would dictated what the diamond was coming out of there. There was very little, unless they give it to someone else who could then say, I can get this. There's only one way you're going to find out is when you polish it, and whoever gets the best result wins. Now with the imaging software, they scan virtually every single rough stone now, and they maximise the value and the outcome from those stones. So there's no hiding behind you. I know I can get a 5 carat, but I say I get a 4.5 carat, I'll look like a genius. Now they're saying that you're getting a 5 carat out of this stone, you're getting a 50 point out of this stone. So more and more clean stones being produced because of the technology interventions, which is a shame in some respects, because as Beck was showing, some of the inclusions in the stone look really quite cool. Now, going on to a model exercise, which my glamorous is going to pass around now. Now I'm going to get you to do a bit of diamond sorting here. Now, the one thing you will never see, unless you've got some rough diamonds in your rings and your necklaces, is what the original diamond was. A round brilliant, 95% of diamonds are polished into round brilliants. We're talking from the biggest to the smallest. Yeah. Because that's the one that's the most easily saleable and it's the most popular. Because a lot of times people don't know that much about the fancy cuts. Now, the interesting thing here is Anything above 3 carat polish, it flips. It's about 50-50 split between fancy cuts and round cuts. I asked a friend, colleague in De Beers Diamond, who was like, why that was the case. They well, usually if you can afford like a 3, 4, 5 carat diamond, you've got plenty of round brilliance, so you can something a little bit different. And that's the reason why the trend is that in the larger stones is those fancy cuts, because that's where the demand is. In the smaller sizes, when you're making these volume numbers of fancy cuts, you may want like certain diamonds as emeralds or opals, little stubby ones or long ones. It's personal preference, and you may end up making the wrong piece to sell to the client.
Yeah.
With the round, it's basically what it is. It's what's in the tin. Here's your brown brilliant. I can easily sell that, and that's the reason why we don't have that many fancies. Now, looking at production from our diamonds, I'll come on to this one by one. Fancy diamonds, we don't produce that many of them either. These are using the longer and flatter stones which you'll see in your parcels. And these stones here lend themselves to the fancy cut shapes. So if you were to polish a round brilliant out of there, you would get a very low yield. And what my yield is that if you've got a 2 carat rough stone and you've got a 50% yield, you'll produce a 1 carat polished. So whenever I refer to yield, it's the polished coming out of the rough. Now your fancy cuts, you're going to get a nice big yield out of those. If you polish that into a round, you get a lot smaller yield, and you'll probably end up making a less valuable diamond. So most of the time that they're making fancy cuts is because they can get a higher value out of it, and that's why there end up being so few of them around. So you were saying about people polishing stones to having lower yields in those pieces. That's because they've taken the wrong rough and they've made a custom piece, and all they want this size stone out of it, and they're prepared to pay for that ultra polish as much as they need away to produce that. And this is where, when you're selling onto the open market in volume, they're looking for the best possible return on their product. When you're dealing bespokely for people, you can basically polish it out of anything. Most diamonds, though, start off with this, as Beth was saying, with crystals. Very, very nice, perfect shape octahedrals. Something happens when they're growing, though, and they change shape. Now, it could be the resorption, where they get smaller but more rounded, or in this case here, they really go into some sort of metamorphic shape change. And if you use these cubic stones, now again, ironically, Zhuani mine in Botswana produces loads and loads of cubic stones. And they can be as square as that, like dice. There's an example of all your parcels, by the way. The other thing you get is quite an interesting one, is called a mackerel. And this is like a Flemish word, I don't actually mean so, but always known as mackerels. And this is where the twins, a twin of the stone, the graining, as you can see here, changes direction. And usually the grain it's because the temperatures and pressures have changed. So what's happened is it started growing, stopped, and then it's called a contact twin. It started growing on one of those surfaces, those flat surfaces. So if you look down on the top of your octahedral, that's the shape of the mackerel normally, it's like a triangular shape. And the reason why we don't like them, they are interesting stones, trillions mainly, they polish out in heart shapes they're used to, is that the grain changes like a grain of wood. So if you imagine the grain was going like this direction, you would split it with an axe, then you start at this side and you saw it against the grain. When they used to use old-fashioned cleaving, they used to like hit the stone and break it along the cleavage plane, along the grain. Now, if the grain suddenly changed direction, there's a good chance the stone would break apart instead. This is why when Fisher cut the cullinan, he was so nervous when he done that first hit, because if they'd misread what was going on in the stone, or missed the grain, the stone would have shattered. Obviously it didn't. And apparently he never fainted. I spoke to his grandson about that. He opened the bottle of champagne. And then the final ones, these makeable pieces. Now they are actually the remainders of these crystals, soil balls and cubes, where the stones are broken up. Now it's usually from the recovery process, the stones, when they're crushing the diamonds down. When they're crushing the stones down, they suddenly hit the diamonds as well and they break those pieces off. It could be from the explosions, or it could be from their point of view, or it could have been from the natural process of when the kimberlite pipe is eroded away, the diamonds are tumbled down and they're bashed against each other, and then if there's any cracks in the stones are falling apart. But this is the important thing here. The crystals and the soilable stones, you would laser those into two stacks. So they really lend themselves to producing very high yielding pieces, which is why they are the more expensive pieces that you would sell. The makeables, the cubes and mackerels have their own different imperfections, but you would make one stone out of that, one major stone. And the fancies, again, you make one major stone from there, but it would normally be a fancy cut as opposed to a round brilliant. Now you know how to use your handles. Do you want to hang around the sheets as well?
Oh, yes.
So because turning around and looking at the screen is so difficult, I've got some sheets printed out as well. So what I like to do now is open up your packets, preferably on your white piece of paper. You have to share one between two here. So you've got about 30 odd stones in there. Now I like you to categorise those into your, what you think of as crystals, sawballs, making balls and cubes and fancies. And if you've got any questions, and then I'll go around and check your work after.
That picture.
Pick these up with your fingers.
That is that's very cute.
And you should have examples of each one in there, and then each part of your unit.
We'll come round and
as well.
Here we go. Okay, right.
So first of all, tip them out on your. So take your plastic. Take your plastic thing up. Sorry, should explain that. Okay, because you want to put it on the plate.
Okay.
Paper, then you know where the diamonds are. So use your hand loop a little bit. Diamonds. They don't stick to your fingers. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah. And then use your hand loops as well. So again, close to your eyes and bring it above at the sharp blade.
You don't really need your lights.
Yeah, but no.
I think you're right. Dazzling effects. Would that be a fan? It's meant to
I suppose it will be like
Oh, okay. So if you actually look at it, you can see the string. Oh, I hate it when I see that.
Oh no, look at this one.
Did you get those from here? They look lovely as if you're thinking of it. It is nice. I want another one.
Great. Wow, you guys look like you're nailing it over here. What do you think? Sure we are. Oh, maybe not.
But it's fancy. brilliant to cut around. So one of the very whereas the maple one where they moved yeah. So you know why that happens? You know when that and they're trying to, and you'll see them on the space, and they're visible on the triangular basis. See people also trying to I love this. It's fun. I mean, it's fun. What you're doing, born to be. How are you getting on? No, I thought you were. I think I love it. That's what they say, no two stones are ever the same. Do you ever have a do you? No, I don't have I just feel good about it. Do you have this kind of standing ornaments? Yeah, it's like now then. So what's like this sort of time? So I've got one like amethyst. Yeah, I've got like amethyst ones. I've got one huge amethyst one like half. Yeah, I've got two. And I've got one like that or like that. Yeah. Where have you bought them from? Very expensive, but they're really nice. And I've got I love just I didn't know you might see them. Yeah. I actually got a few things from there. There's one January mum's birthday. Oh really? So lovely.
Do you fancy getting to another island? When's the next one? Have you not been before?
I think we've been a really long time ago.
Should you? Oh yeah, I just like the floor in IVH. I love that. Don't you when they have
Yeah.
I love a light kind of Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just has so much stuff on it. So if I like Zoe Kravitz, like cool celebrity, not like Miley Cyrus or face people. One's very quiet and luxury dance. Like Rosie doesn't want to be very
Guys, thank you very much for joining. We are going to hop off the live show now. Sophie and I are back at 5 p.m. and we've got our live show. We've got so many amazing ready-to-wear pieces. So join us at 6 p.m. In just over an hour. We've got our ready-to-wear and handbag live show here from London. So join us then. Grab a cup of tea, grab a cup of coffee, make the dinner, and join us in just over an hour. Thank you, Rachel. Bye.